You are paying for 12 things right now, and you can only name 4 of them. That is the honest average for how many recurring charges the typical adult has running at once. Streaming, a cloud storage plan, an app you downloaded for one weekend project, a gym you have not walked into since January, a box that shows up whether you asked for it or not. Somewhere between 8 and 12 separate charges. Ask someone to list them from memory and they stop at 3 or 4 every single time. The bill does not stop just because you forgot it exists. Here is the part that should bother you more than it does. None of this is an accident. Nobody designs a cancellation page by mistake. The gap between how easy it is to sign up and how hard it is to get out is not a bug in the system. It is the entire business model. There is a name for it inside the companies that build these products. They call it the friction gap. Getting in takes 1 tap and 15 seconds. Getting out takes a phone call, a hold time, a retention agent trained to talk you out of it, and sometimes a cancellation window that only opens on the 3rd Tuesday of the month. That is not customer service. That is a toll booth built to look like an exit. Picture the moment it usually gets noticed, because it is almost always the same moment. Someone is scrolling through a bank statement for an unrelated reason, maybe checking if a paycheck landed, and their eye catches a line they do not recognize. A company name that means nothing to them. They stare at it for a second, half convinced it is fraud, before the memory comes back. Oh, right, that app. From a year and a half ago. Still charging, still running, nobody stole a cent. They just never left. Let's talk about how it actually works, because once you see the mechanics, you cannot unsee them. Trick number 1 is the free trial that is not free. It asks for your card up front for a charge that will not happen for 30 days. 30 days is a long time. Long enough that the reminder gets buried under 100 other emails. Long enough that the trial becomes the default and cancelling becomes the effort. The company is not betting that you will love the product. They are betting that you will forget the date. Trick number 2 is what I call invisible math. A single charge of $9.99 does not register as spending. It registers as nothing, because your brain is built to flag big, unusual expenses, not small, repeated ones. A $500 purchase gets scrutinized. A $10 charge that hits the same card every month for 2 years, quietly becoming $240, gets ignored completely, because it never once felt like a decision. You only made the decision once on day 1, and your bank has been honoring that single decision ever since, without asking you again. Trick number 3 is the retention maze. This is the one that turns your stomach a little once you notice it. You go to cancel, and instead of a button, you get a form. The form leads to a chat window. The chat window offers you 50% off if you stay just 1 more month. If you say no, it offers you a free month instead. If you say no again, it asks you 3 questions about why you are leaving, each one a chance for the system to counter with another discount. Every extra step is not incompetence. Every extra step is measured, tested, and kept because it works. Somewhere between 1 in 5 and 1 in 3 people who start the cancellation process give up before they finish it. Not because they changed their mind, because the maze won. There is a 4th trick underneath the first 3, and it is the quietest one. Bundling. 3 services get packaged into one price cheaper than buying them apart, which sounds like a win, but now cancelling one means unwinding the whole bundle, recalculating whether the other 2 are still worth it alone, and most people just leave the entire thing running rather than do that math. The bundle was never really about savings. It was about raising the cost of leaving. So, what is this actually costing you? Take the middle of that range, 10 subscriptions, dead average $9 each. That is $90 a month. It sounds almost reasonable when you say it that fast. $90 a month is $1,080 a year. Run that same math over 5 years and you are looking at over $5,000 gone for services that in most households, at least a third, are barely being used at all. That is not a coffee you enjoyed. That is not a trip you remember. That is money that left quietly and bought you nothing you can point to. And that is the middle case. Households with a teenager, a shared streaming habit, and a couple of hobby apps routinely run 15 or more active charges at once. Do that same math at 15 subscriptions and $9 average, and you are past $1,600 a year, past $8,000 over 5 years, for a stack of charges that not one person in that house could fully list if you asked them right now. And here is the part that makes it worse. This is not going away. It is expanding. Cars now sell subscription heated seats. Some printers will not print without a monthly ink plan. The subscription model used to mean a magazine. Now it means everything, because companies figured out that a customer who pays automatically forever is worth more than a customer who pays once and thinks about it. So how do you actually get out of the maze instead of just feeling bad about being in it? Step 1. Once a year, pull your last 2 months of bank and card statements and circle every recurring charge, every single one, no matter how small. Do not do this from memory. Memory is exactly what this system is built to exploit. You need the paper trail. Step 2. For every charge you circled, ask one question. If this cancelled itself tonight, would you notice within a week? If the honest answer is no, that is your list. Cut from that list first, not from the ones you actually use. Step 3. Cancel on the day you do the audit, not the day after. The maze relies on delay. Every hour you wait is another chance for the retention offer to work on you. Walk in expecting the 50% off pitch and decide in advance that the answer is still no. The offer only works on people who did not see it coming. Step 4. Use a virtual card number if your bank offers one, set it to a low limit, and let any subscription you actually keep get charged to that instead of your main card. Now, the friction gap works in your favor. If a company wants to trap you, make them fail on the first try, because a card with a $10 limit cannot silently absorb a price increase you never approved. None of this means cut every subscription and live like it is $19.95. It means you decide what stays on purpose, once a year, instead of a system deciding for you by default every single month, forever. Go run the audit this week, not someday, this week, because the 12 charges on your account right now do not care how busy you are. They renew either way.